Last time on Pathfinder, we talked about Avanis, and I think we ended up when you guys left the town. Um, which of
That's just
course, you left the town when you all got drunk, and then it started on the Halloween special, which was
yeah,
where
the not so Halloweeny Halloween special.
I would say it was decently Halloweeny. Okay, I think you guys were just underappreciating how Halloweeny it really was.
I
So,
don't really remember too much. I remember there was a witch,
yep,
a skeleton,
yep,
and a lunar dragon
yep. A
that was
weird
terrorized,
eldritch lunar dragon thing. I would say
and
that's pretty Halloweeny.
also
Anyway,
gnomes. That's pretty spooky.
oh yeah, there were gnomes.
Also, do keep
Um,
in mind that like we are recording this on like January 10th, and the last one we recorded was like
shh, you're
um
dating us.
I'm dating. I don't care. Look at the logs. Anyways, though.
Anyway, and try not to name drop because the first one was edited. This one will not be.
Oh, whoops.
So, just a
Okay,
little thing there.
so
It'll just be
I'm putting.
here's where it
Can I name
starts,
drop?
here's where it finished.
Can I name drop you at least?
Of course, I think we did that in the first one.
Yeah, we did that a lot.
Yep.
Okay, I'll name drop only you and probably someone else. Like my favorite person I like to play with, um, Big
Is yourself.
Hands Bojangle. Well, yeah, myself too. I like to play myself all the time.
Anyway, so the Halloween special was a special because it was the entire like chapter in one session, which our sessions aren't very long. A lot of people have like 5 hour sessions. We're like, I don't
Like
know.
3 hours.
I don't even think we're 3 hours.
Well, we start. Okay, no, we start at 2. Well, that's what time we're supposed to
We're two
start.
and
But
a
then we
half
always have like
hours.
yeah, because like we
Yeah.
always have like 30 minutes of like memes or other garbage,
Oh
and then
yeah.
after that we
Well,
actually start playing.
yeah. If you don't count the memes, then we're 2 hours per session.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
which isn't actually bad.
I
I would
mean,
love to go longer,
the
but people.
I if you're trying to run a entire campaign in one session, 2 hours is difficult. So
Yeah, that is very difficult.
what I'm saying is I'm so underappreciated.
You know what, Percy? You know what?
Truly,
You know
my
what?
life is a hard one.
Yeah, just running those tabletop campaigns.
Yep.
Oof. It's like
Yeah.
you're starving or something.
I
Should get
mean,
paid to do it.
honestly, like the starving children in India don't know what it's like to be me. Just saying.
Just say, and before someone actually gets bad.
I mean, I had to wake up at like 10 today, so
Yeah, I know, right? Go the privilege.
yeah.
But anyway, so continuing off on that, after we've smashed the Lunar Dragon, which was actually, I have to admit, that fight was awesome. I actually really like that fight.
Yeah, despite you getting totally fucked.
This, yeah, because in the fight, right, we had to summon the dragon first of all,
Yep.
and as well, we had a airship as well,
Yep.
and so we had to get everything ready and stuff, buy all the necessary ammo, ammunition,
Which you
and
barely
then
used.
which we barely used because everybody decided to just board him. just jump on his back and kill you. It was amazing. Because like half our party members, oh no, like 75% of the people that were there were like very agile people, like agile characters. So they could
Well,
just easily like jump up on him and not really take any penalties for it.
which I guess is the first instance of dragon riding. Um, Recently we
Mm.
had the second, but we'll get to that eventually. So yeah, pretty much everyone just fucking hopped aboard this dragon, and eventually the dragon fell out of the sky, which wasn't good for anyone. Um,
But like, okay, everybody got off of him except for me and like one other person.
well, the other
We just,
person is kind of complicated because I don't know. Did we cover the bone cutlass in the last episode? Anyway,
I
in case we didn't,
don't think so.
I gave one of the characters an item that leveled up the more kills they got, and like if enough kills, it gets the ability to um, cast dragon form once per day. But it's like a specific version of the spell that you can't normally get, where you turn to sort of a necrotic dragon, which aren't normally creatures. Um, but yeah, I decided on the blood moon, which is when the Halloween special took place, um, that it would automatically count as if it had 50 kills. So they were able to turn into a dragon, and they did. And the dragon smashed them into the ground by plummeting. So,
Literally just like dragon wrestling at that point.
yeah, which was fun. Um,
Just imagine Hulk Hogan as a actual as like as a dragon. Oh yeah, that's not Hulk Hogan. That's
isn't
fucking
there a
Macho Man.
Skyrim mod for that? No, that's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah. Whoops,
Yeah, there's a
brother.
Sky there's a Skyrim mod to turn all the dragons into Macho Man Randy Savage. I
Mm,
mean, so why wouldn't you install it, honestly?
yeah, dude. But anyways, once the dragon was killed, I don't know how you ended it. You ended it like really abruptly because we only had like 10 minutes left. So
Yep.
it was like we killed him, and then the goblin people, because the goblin, not goblins, gnomes. The fuck me.
I was wondering
Um,
what the fuck you were on about.
the gnomes were like, "Yo, thanks," and they gave us some months, I believe.
I can't
And
remember what they gave you. I think they paid off your massive debt you ranked up.
oh yeah, because the that was the whole actual plot line actually, because of everybody besides Azrael, because she can't get drunk at that point. Um,
They got
Everybody else,
crunked.
yeah, and they just destroyed the place, and so they had to repay them by killing the dragon.
Yep.
But that's into that. On to the next chapter, which I decided that this was a good time to do some actual story stuff, and so I wanted to change my character for this like chapter to like do some other story related stuff for later upgrade. And instead of using Azrael, I made a samurai character, and
Jesus
she was
Christ.
based. She's like okay, she was fucking strong, like 20 strength at the start. This is ew. But she was based off of what character was it again? Yeah, I know. Only I will know this. I'm trying to think what character did I base it off of. Um, the character from Lisa the Joyful. What was his name? Buddy. There we go, Buddy. She was based around Buddy, or at least yeah, at least the Joyful, where she grows up and becomes like a katana wielding badass, but also a sociopath at the same time. But
Yeah,
anyways,
she was a straight up monster.
so the plot line for this chapter, after dealing with the dragon, the gnomes brought us to their king. I think.
Yep.
Am I saying this correctly? Okay, good. And we talked to the king, right? And then uh, my samurai character was there at that time because I just did a little switch around, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for like murdering that dragon or whatever. Go and murder another dragon." Because like
Yeah.
it does make sense. It does make sense because we already killed the dragon, so just grab him again.
Plus, the dragon you were set to murder was significantly weaker, or at least should have been.
Yeah. And so the group's like, yeah, no problem, easy. Um, and we go do that with a little bit of traveling. We make it to a village that and by the way, I'm skipping like a bunch of like the fluff stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of other stuff that happened with between like the NPCs and whatnot, but that's not important.
There
Um,
was, in the last episode, there was a certain comment, I don't know if you read it, from one of our friends, talking about what happens in this session.
oh really?
Yeah.
I actually never saw. Okay, should I just skip back to?
Well, no, let's see if I can. I believe you know the quote. It's, I'm 120 years old, and I don't give a shit. Which,
Okay,
I'll add, wasn't precisely what he said, but
but it was pretty much what you said.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so as we head to the village to where the last known attack was, we see kobolds running away from the village, and we go and investigate. My character goes up to an old man, oh not old man, old gnome man,
Very old.
and very old, and she starts aggressively interrogating him, being the renegade asshole she is, and
And, of course, him wanting the dragon gone instantly told you everything he knows.
which was like nothing.
He told you exactly where the dragon was, to be fair.
Oh yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he did tell us everything. That was cool. But then my character, aka I, had an idea to use him as like as bait to try and then poke the dragon out.
Yep.
So I I forgot that the old man was like right in front of me. I was like telling the party this, so he overheard. And so then he starts to run away. My character grabs him, and there's after some little back and forth, he said that quote,
He said,
and then
I think you threatened him, and he
yeah,
said, I'm 120, I don't give a shit. At which
and
point, you felt the appropriate response was to.
punch him in the face and knock him out.
But you didn't knock him out, did you?
So he did that. Okay, so I had to do a D6 roll, I think,
I can't
to see if
remember what it was, but
let's just say a D6,
sure.
and tell the DM Darcy whether to or whether it was an even or odd. I rolled a odd, and
You
no, no,
punch
no,
straight through his
yeah,
head.
yeah. Which like does it wouldn't make sense if my character didn't have the max strength of 20.
And he
So,
also wasn't a fragile old gnome.
oh, well, like me personally as a player, I felt very very bad doing that. Because like I didn't actually, I just wanted to knock him out. I could have like been like, yeah, no, I pinch his pressure points or whatever to knock him out.
But
But
that
no,
was
I
the funniest thing. That
just straight up punched him.
was. Oh.
God, that was amazing. But like,
Just
yeah, no,
goes to
my
show
character's.
there's nothing funnier than elder abuse.
But yeah, not my own shining moments there, but whatever. Uh, and so everyone just like the characters were like appalled, but in reality, we were all just laughing our asses off that just transpired.
Yep.
And as well, just to backtrack a little bit, we grabbed some recruits to help us. You know, just planning to use them as a meat shield, basically. But we grabbed some recruits to go and help us, and then they followed us all the way to this village. And then so them seeing my character, who was also very short, it was a human. Um,
Not as short as the gnomes.
not as short as the gnomes, of course, because it is a human still, but um, still Falcon punching this old person to oblivion, kind of just like they're gone. They're not there anymore. They're mentally not there anymore. So that was
Yeah.
fun. But moving along that now, uh, I think we still took the body though. I think.
I don't think you did.
I don't think we, I,
Pretty sure you just left it in the middle of the town.
is an example.
How dare he answer questions for you?
Oh, oh well, rip old man. Um, yeah, I'll just say we left him there. And as we go and the actual cave that he told us about, uh, we see kobolds, and then I devise a plan to see if maybe they were friendly to not attack him on first sight. That was a very, very low chance. But I just wanted to see if it was a thing. Um, and so I sent my character in. Everybody listened to the plan except for one person, and that person know who they are. And instead of actually waiting for my signal, he is a bard, first of all, and he tries to sneak on the wall along the side, the entrance. He fails horribly, and everyone just looks at him like, "What the fuck happened to the plan?" And so the kobolds just decided to attack anyways, whether or not they saw him or not, probably. Um,
Actually, no. The reason the kobolds
no.
attacked is because they. I actually had this all thought out beforehand. These kobolds weren't exactly like evil kobolds. They wouldn't have attacked except they thought you guys were trying to kill them. Because you kind of were.
Well, like we kind of were, but at the beginning, if I just walked in by myself, would that like be like, "Yo, get out" or something? Would they actually try and talk with me instead of actually attacking me?
Well, you didn't speak Draconic, so probably wouldn't have worked out too well.
Oh well. Either way, um, the plan went awry, and we just at the end to start killing everything. Um, until one of them escapes and brings like a huge army of them. Oh no, they didn't bring. They warned everybody. And as we go continuing on, they surrounded us and we got captured. That's what
Yep.
happened. Meanwhile, the recruits and stuff were still having Vietnam flashbacks.
Only one of them.
Only one of them. The other two just didn't know what to think. But as that it's all transpiring, we meet the dragon that we were ordered to kill, and it was Adonis.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool.
Recycling boss fights.
Except it wasn't really a boss fight; it was more like a talk.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna kill you.
To be
No,
fair,
you're not.
the first Adonis fight was kind of like that too. A bit of following, followed by intense negotiation.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. Um, but then conveniently at that time, while we were like having a very one-sided negotiation with Alanis, Azrael appears in a more of a tribal-looking appearance because story-related stuff. And Alanis like, wait a second, I know these people. And the reason why he didn't actually notice that know us before,
He recognized Roger.
right? He recognized one other character, but he actually didn't really completely recognize him.
He didn't really
But
recognize a lot of people.
um, but with every single other character that was there, it was either a new character or a person that wasn't actually there at the fight. So technically, they didn't actually meet Adonis. So that was a good thing that I finished all that before this happened, or we would have had a very, very tough fight on our hands because I didn't feel like fighting like 500 kobolds plus the green dragon. No, sir. Angela appears and she pretty much defuses the situation with Adonis and such. And we still need the job done. So we advised the plan to fake his death and killing all the kobolds as well by Adonis ordering them to practically just kill themselves.
Yeah, he just ordered them to jump off a cliff and they all drown.
So that was a thing.
Also,
And
he collapsed the cave, so all the recruits had died.
yeah, as well that too, because the recruits are still tied up. The rest of the characters weren't, and you're like, we don't really need more witnesses to our escapade here, so we're just gonna leave these three in the cave starving to death. Which was Azrael didn't know, but every single other character that was there was like, yeah, let's do that. Because Azrael's the only one that's actually a good aligned character.
Yep.
Everyone else is either neutral or chaotic.
We
So
have one evil character, one good character, the rest are neutral.
yeah, so that's a bit iffy. Oh well.
So technically, we're a neutral party.
Yeah, but they do more bad things than good.
Yeah.
And after that we
Adonis
go
moved into your house.
yeah, to Azrael's mansion, where every single other player fucking steals everything from. Like seriously,
That's
like
the
the
evil
first time,
player.
like that's the
Stealing
first
your
time.
silverware.
when it happened, right? When like all the players decided, hey, let's just ransack our own homes because essentially, Aswell was nice enough to be like, yo, just come live here. I don't care. Um, but let's just ransack our own home, guys. And then it just kept happening, and so I
Well,
actually got pissed.
well, what bothered me about it was it would happen with this one person while we were trying to like run the game, and I was like dealing with one player, and they're like, I steal their silverware, and I'm like, give me a sec. And they're like, how much silverware do I steal? I steal all the knives. How many knives do I get? And I'm like, fucking this much knives. And she's just like, no, I need an exact number. And I'm like, fuck it, you get 5 knives. Just 5.
And then gets triggered because of that.
Yep. So,
Yeah, that was annoying, but whatever. They don't show up anymore, so it's all good.
yep.
Um, and then we faked Armandus' death. We got magical items.
Your secondary character
I got
did something.
oh yeah, she did this too. So just to continue on in the scumbaggery that is my secondary character. I don't know what was her name. Let me see if I can
Joy.
find her character sheet. Yeah, Joy. Um, what she did was she had a horse that none of the other people had, and so she got back at the mansion first. And what she did was she needed to get back home with all the money that she got from the doing the whole job thing.
Yep.
And so she steals the party's airship.
Yep.
And as the party starts getting to the area where the mansion is, they see the airship in the air, and with a note left on the front door, just like, "Yo, I'm gonna borrow this.
Yeah.
Thanks."
When I said you guys saw it in the air, I specifically described by the point you were seeing it, it was a dot in the sky. It was fucking gone.
And again, like as a player, I felt really bad doing that, but no one actually cared. Like
To
no
be
one was
fair,
like,
well, some people were a bit upset, but
"Okay,
you
yeah,
guys have kind of replaced the airship, but we'll get to that.
yeah." I did say though she would bring it back though
Yeah,
at some point.
but at this
At some,
point, to where?
yeah,
We'll get to that later, though.
yeah. Um.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Oh, you gotta listen to that now. It has to be edited. You fucked up, dude.
Yep. Roger got kidnapped.
It kind of like being like Roger's the only character's name that we actually remember.
I
So
remembered Nen can't,
yeah, but he's
but
dead,
he's
dude.
dead.
He's gone.
He's super dead. 9,000.
Um. Anyways, continuing on. Once they get back to their home for a long needed R&R. Um, Roger um, gets kidnapped.
Yep.
Our little, just for reference sake, Roger is a dwarf that has 5 limbs, or no, has like 7 limbs actually.
No, he has
No, because he
three
has
arms and a
two,
tentacle.
so that's 6 limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was one off. Anyways, um, he has 6 limbs because of alchemist funsies. Um, and of course, he's an alchemist. He gets kidnapped by who was it? Because I wasn't actually there.
Um, he gets kidnapped by. This is kind of convoluted, but it was the daughter. Oh, I totally forgot to mention. First off, he just found this weird machine in the basement. Then he got
Yeah,
kidnapped by essentially the daughter of the inventor of that machine. Um, he gave all like a series of schematics and stuff he found for it to her. Um, and then he got back. But while all this was happening, there was. Oh, wait. Also forgot to mention the night he got kidnapped, he had a weird dream with like this giant crab monster thing. Um,
Yeah, this is
and
all like just playing back to us because like it's been actually a while since this has happened.
yeah, and then while he was being kidnapped, a couple of people showed up at your door. Do you remember who they were?
As I said, I was not there actually. This was the time when
Oh, right.
I've
Yeah,
been missing. I've
these
been doing stuff.
were the Spanish, well, not Spanish, these were Inquisitioners, which is a Pathfinder class, and they were fish. They were merfolk Inquisitioners, but they were legged merfolk Inquisitioners. They didn't have tails.
Hot.
Um, so yes, uh, they were looking for Roger, who was gone at the time, and then they sort of they wanted to get information out of you because they thought you guys know where he was. So they attempt to incapacitate you, and you guys held them off for a decent chunk of time, but eventually, um, the party fell. Um,
Was that
so
actually was that our first defeat
I don't.
in the entire campaign, or because I don't remember us losing a whole lot actually.
I would say you guys frequently end in ties.
That's
At least when
a
it
good
comes
way to
to
put it.
Avonis.
Yeah, okay, at least with Avonis, those were
Because
ties.
twice it ended in ties. Um, so yeah, they essentially took all you guys to um, a large underwater city, um, made you guys able to breathe, uh, and then they took you to this chasm where you guys spoke with the eldritch crab god thing that that Roger had a dream about. Um, yeah. So he told you that you guys were destined to aid in like the destruction of the world. Um, but he also told you how you could help not prevent it but deal with it. Um, and
How to survive the end of the world.
he told you about like this like person who protected the world in the past, but was sort of lost in a sort of secret plane or dimension or whatever. Um, and he transported you guys to one of the entrances to this secret dimension, which was behind a waterfall. Um, so the barbarian had the brilliant idea of he is going to walk through the waterfall, and he does, but takes huge damage. And directly after, the cleric uses stone shape to part the waterfall.
Okay, and I was there for that, and yeah, that was pretty funny. It's like, don't worry, guys, I got this. This gets decimated, and then it's like, paired, like, I can just like make a wood pillar and like prevent.
Stone pillar, even
Oh, stone
better.
pillar, sorry, even better, even more durable.
Yep. Um,
Oh, I
and
can't wait. I can't wait until I get to rant about just keep going. Sorry.
and there was a reflective pool inside, and everyone jumped in. Do you remember what happens next?
I remember it was not fun. I mean, what? We head first in, and suddenly, oh hey, have gravity. Gravity's a not thing, is it? And so we flipped up, like we were in the upside down world basically,
Yeah.
and everybody was flying to the sun pretty
So
much, and
you guys did manage to get around via a series of flying brooms and spiders and climbing on roots and jumping from tree to tree.
yeah, the true OG way to getting around the
Someone
woods.
used a very large snake that they climbed aboard.
And then our barbarian, oh my god, now I'm remembering our barbarian. He had a special card
I wasn't our
that he.
barbarian. I was our rogue.
Oh no, no, ninja. Sorry,
Yeah,
fuck,
ninja.
a ninja.
Oh, by the
Keep
way, we
forgetting.
had a mimic ninja. I don't think we mentioned this.
We never mentioned this, but oh well. Now people know. But our ninja, for some reason,
Off
and
of the deck of many things, he got this. By the way, it's a
he has a
slightly
special
modified
card.
deck of many things.
Yeah, he got a special card that allows him to summon the Devil's Advocate, quote unquote.
So
And
essentially a devil lawyer.
yeah, and he used it once when we were trapped or when we were captured, but the devil couldn't really do anything because there's not really much he could do.
Yeah, he wasn't like a powerful entity. He was useful if you guys need to gather information. He could like contact a higher up, or if you guys needed to I don't know, have a really good lawyer at some point. He could also do that. Um, but he was not good in a fight. I specified this.
Kirby, pause the recording.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, I just died.
Yeah, so he had this card, some the Devil Advocate. He threw it into the sun.
and everybody looked at him like, why? Like, it was funny at that time, but now realizing what that card could actually do,
Yep.
it, it,
And I already
uh,
gave him a spare one because he
yeah,
wasted
no,
the first one.
yeah,
So
and so we're just like, God damn it. Oh well,
just threw
that
that into the
happened.
sun.
As you can tell, the running theme with like this campaign is a bunch of us just make some really stupid decisions.
Yep.
Don't know why, but we do. And it's either stupid in a funny way or stupid in an annoying way.
It's almost always stupid in a funny way, but frequently only retroactively funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like, you could, like, at least talk about it later to them and just laugh it off. But then there's some decisions that we make where it's like, yeah, are we actually retarded?
yeah.
So, oh well. Can't wait for more of those to show up in the future. But anyways, that happened. We, and then, no, this is the part where I was actually here for this. Um, we went around exploring and we found a deserted village. Or not really deserted,
Yeah, it was
but just,
deserted.
oh, it was deserted, okay. Um,
There's one resident there, so.
yeah, and I went, Azrael went to go find any people that were still alive, and I found one. BRB, stop recording.
What were we talking about?
It's like when you edit, how you edit things. Like we're just talking about like the thing we're talking about, and then someone just like comes to this. It's like, what are we talking about? um, we were talking about Azrael going to find a well any surviving people or any people still in the village.
Right, and that's when you found out they were all dead.
Yep,
Yep,
all of them except for one little teeny girl.
yep,
Um, she had her own. She actually had the place's gravity. We had our own gravity,
yeah,
and so she was just normally on. She's just walking normally. Meanwhile, Agile here is like swinging from the trees like freaking George of the Jungle, upside down George of the Jungle. Um, we Agile talked to her for a bit and learns the fact that one's dead, and decides to take her back to the village. While
yep.
once doing that, Agile tells everybody, "Yo, what up? Uh, everyone's dead, so I guess go wild." While also trying to still respect the little girl being there, having the parents being blood dead.
Some of the
Um,
party members had the idea to put on some clothing from this world and then fill it with rocks from this world, and using that method, they could kind of stay upright.
yeah, it was kind of a wonky process, but it was still a process that worked.
Yep,
Um, I tried putting my feet because I had enough agility and stuff to actually jump to the ground and put my feet on the ground for a bit, for like a second, see if that would like adjust me to the gravity.
nope.
But no, no, that would have been cool though. But the rest is just like fuck yeah, nigga. Fuck you like censoring that. Um,
Censoring what?
and exactly. And then after that, I left, and Darcy can take it over.
Yeah, so the little girl led you guys to the place where the person you were looking for was. Um, it was like a weird tomb. The entrance was booby trapped. You guys found a back way through, um, and managed to uh, go through there. Then the party fought uh, the guards of this sort of almost like Egyptian tomb style thing, and the guards were like clockwork soldiers. Um, so they managed to defeat them. They took their breastplates because they could actually be used as nice armor. And there was like a sort of tomb, like I said, in the center of the room. Um, and there was a sarcophagus, and they lifted the lid, and inside was the person they were looking for still alive, because they were sort of like a demigod character. Um, so this person explained, they explained the whole situation. The person was like, "Yeah, well, I need my sword," um, and uh, he was able to locate where his sword was through his connection to it. Um, so they go there, and eventually they hit a point where gravity is no longer reversed. As they sort of enter like a floating mountain range. Um, so they get out of this jungle into this floating mountain range, and they use a method of flying and climbing and such to get to a high perch on one of these floating mountains, and there is a large bird nest here, and this guy's sword. So while the guy's getting his sword, um, the bird flies in. Um, it they try and like distract it with shiny things, and that works for a while. And then the bird eats one of the party members.
BRB.
Um, it eats the bard. Um, so the bard's in a bird's stomach for a while. Um, Eventually, I can't even remember how, they managed to successfully practice bird diplomacy, and they got the bird on their side. I think by feeding it. I think that was the solution they used. Um, so they got this bird back, and they flew it uh, back through the portal, and then they just did a lot of shopping to prepare for this upcoming battle. Um, so they got their shopping done. Then they flew back to the manor, um, and they saw this red light, um, sort of peer out of the like a red beam shoot out of the area in the manor. So they all went down to the basement where this machine was, because the Roger was able to identify where the light was coming from. Um, and this included Ivanis, who was in the house at the time. Um, and they uh, they got in there, and from the machine, sort of, there was like a ripple, and a character who I had explained to the party, but I don't think I explained in this podcast, who was sort of like this human who got like powerful enough to challenge the gods, and he was very powerful. Redundancy there. Um, he stepped through, and then they had to fight him. So first thing that happened was, um, the demigod you saved created like a force field around you guys. Um, and then uh, this character just sort of wiped out the entire mansion, the entire property of the mansion with one move. So that was the mansion destroyed.
Yay, no one can steal from him anymore.
It's true. No
Pretty
one can
much.
steal from your mansion if your mansion's destroyed.
Hey,
Um,
if Darcy, by the way, you have to pause the recording again because I have to
okay,
go grab food.
and we're back.
Um, so I had to do escapade.
Nice.
So I completely don't know where we were, but Darcy was telling the story, so I don't think it matters.
We were talking about, we just got up to the final boss.
Right, and that's when I was actually there for that time. I like funny thing is every single time I had to like not be at the actual games because I had to do work. Um, it was always a time when we had to do battle, and I just obtained a new prestige class that Darcy made for me, and it was super cool. But I never got to use it because I never got into any battles. So yay,
Yep. But this was a battle you did get into.
yeah.
Um,
Anyways, do you want me to tell it or do you want to?
you can go ahead.
Okay. So, from my memory, we got transported into some dimension. I don't remember what it was. Um, but it left a crater once we'd done so, and
Oh
then
no, he just blew up your house.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Sorry. Yeah, he blew up my house. That was one big problem there, and pretty much was just gigantic crater. Akintosh was his name. That demigod was.
Something like that.
Yeah. Um, he put up a shield to protect us from the blast, and luckily everyone was in the shield radius at that time. And then the big final boss for um, that pretty much that chapter. Uh, what was his name again? No,
Malice.
Malice. There we go. Malice then appears. I don't think he said anything
No.
because I think just going right down to business.
Yeah.
Um, and you know what? We haven't done this before, but just for reference, we people that were there or the characters that were there were Azrael, um, Roger, the alchemist, our ninja mimic, our cleric, our gnome cleric, and I think there was one more, our skeleton bard.
Yes.
Yes, and so those were the player characters, and then as well we have Akintosh and Bondus helping us in the fight. So basically, at the start, everyone just like was getting all prepped up using buffs or whatnot, and going in for attacks. And I remember that I rolled like right. I rolled a bit better than Alanis. We pretty much were both going like right after each other.
Yeah.
So what I thought to do was combine both our turns and do our action together, where I would climb on him, and then he would take me to Malice. I would to get my 30-foot long chain. Just saying that out there, so that no one's like, "What the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense." Um, and then once Alanis was close enough, I was to jump onto him, onto Malice, and choke him with the
Hmm.
chain,
Yeah.
while also in my new form that was from my prestige class. So I get increased bonuses to that and whatnot. I did that. That went really well, actually. And so I was choking this 11-foot god while the ninja was pretty much just stabbing his feet or legs, while Adonis was also there, breath attacking him while I was on him, and luckily I actually rolled pretty decently, so I didn't actually get damage. Um, Roger turned into the skeletal dragon again.
Yep. Because this was a blood moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon. And then to our cleric. I at some point Malice summoned a wolf, and not Malice, the cleric actually dealt with it pretty effectively actually by
Yeah.
first putting a pit
His
like
favorite spell, Spiked Pit.
spike pit. Like okay, I just want to say something like to that player because I can't say his name. He can be smart, but what's about to happen, right? Well, not what's about to happen because it didn't really happen, but what he asked to do really like made me want to slam my head through the. But get there in just a little bit. Um, and then our skeletal board was pretty much giving us giving everybody buffs basically. So this went on for about like 3 turns, and we were actually doing pretty good actually, surprisingly enough. Even though
Until
um,
someone decapitated him.
yeah. So because he couldn't break out my strength, my CMD, uh, I eventually choked him out hard enough and long enough to decapitate him with a chain. which we'll be like, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Until
He caught his own
until
head,
yeah, until we realize, wait a second, he live without his head,
and then
and
did his breath attack, which like
subs.
almost
It,
killed 3 people.
no, it like yeah, it literally just fucking destroyed the entire party.
Well, to
Like,
be fair, it covered half the board.
and like as well, right before then, he also summoned a bunch of zombies, but he just like wiped like half of them out that one
Yep.
move.
The
So I
zombies which
believe
just ran up to you and exploded.
I'll Blackbird. And then our bard, our ninja, and I think Roger, but I don't think so. Um, got hit with it, and then they almost died from just that. And pretty much it just then turned to us getting our ass handed, uh, and led to our bard dying in that fight.
Yep.
Like because like we're like, oh yeah, we're never gonna die, but it's like
Well,
there's
the
like
bard dies like right at the end.
yeah, right at the end.
Um,
But it was still pretty sad though. Um, what else am I missing
Adonis
here?
almost died.
Yeah, Pontus almost died. I was like the last person. Like everyone else was. Like, by the end of it, me and Adonis were the last one standing, and
Yes.
including the demigod.
And that's
Uh,
only because Adonis was healed. He
yes.
was knocked unconscious. He was healed. Um, and then he and you were the last two standing.
Yeah. Which like really scared me because like I am a glass cannon. I cannot take hits for shit, and only because of this new form that increased my stats. So it also increased my AC. But if I didn't have that, no, I would not survive that fight at all.
Yep.
Um,
In the meantime, he also released an attack that like killed millions of civilians.
all
Um,
right, that
there was
the
the
not
zombie
starting
one.
from the move.
Yeah, those were his 3 major attacks: the giant fire breath, the zombie attack, and the one that killed millions of civilians.
Yeah, well, the characters don't know that, but
Yep. Well, it was
I,
essentially the human extinction wave from Dragon Ball.
yeah. Um, but after we defeated him,
Do you want to describe how that happened?
um, I I should remember this. I should remember this. One second, just give me a second here. Okay, I'm gonna try and retell this with my best memory of it. So I believe what happened was Alvanis just got back up from getting down. I was trying to talk to the demigod to see if there's any other plans to survive this. And then I think what Avanis did was I think I was about to go down,
Yep.
but then he came out of nowhere. He, I, no, he didn't grab it. He bit the head that was now in the hands of literal hands of Malice, and
Yes.
just chomped down on it.
That was a crit, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
On his turn, he rolled for the bite attack, got a crit, crushed uh crushed Malice's head between his jaws.
And after that,
He begged.
Angel got well, not yet,
Pretty
but
much, yeah.
pretty much, yeah. Angel, everyone had like a freaking Avana's boner after that because he literally saved us.
I know. I'm pretty sure it was still just you.
Bro, no, dude, no. You want a Dragon Boner, you know? Anyways,
Anyway,
though, after that, Azrael and Havanas do their thing, and that's actually where we ended. Oh wait a second. No, that's not where we ended it.
that
That's
was.
kind of where we ended it, but like then we like picked up the loot and stuff, and I
Yeah.
kind of stole the sword from everybody else because I'm a dick. But I did give out my other magic item for it. My completely not useless to me magic item.
Yep. And that's where we ended Pathfinder, and that's where
Yeah.
we're on this podcast. So,
No. Yeah, because I had to die multiple times. So blame that on me for not having this be a bit longer. Next time though, we'll most likely talk about D&D, fifth ed campaigns,
yeah.
most likely. We have a lot of them. A lot, I mean, like two that can actually retell. So, but you'll never know which one it is. So,
Yeah.
get fucked.
Anyway.
Any closers there? I
Nope.
did my closer. Well then, go to bed. Just get out of here. Go to bed.
Yep.
I'm
Bye.
watching this.